Welcome back to another episode of Ramblings in the Basement. It's your boy Theory.
Ego.
Vasito.
And we're back with another episode.
Well, I guess today's topic is going to be, self-motivational, self-help topic.
Yeah. Self-improvement.
Yeah, self-improvement.
It's just how you can do that, I guess. Different ways of self-improvement.
Yeah, just a little bit of, like, some advices.
Yeah. So take it with a grain of salt. You know, we're all human, so we're all perfect. None of us are perfect.
Yes.
I don't want anyone turning around and be like, look, I took your advice and you fucked my life up. So I don't want none of that shit, you know. But, yeah. Just, I guess, listen to the advice. Take it if you want. Or don't.
I mean, me and Yvonne were talking about the ego earlier, right?
Yeah,
Balance of ego.
We can start off with that. That's definitely a good place to start from.
I'll say this, like at work, what is called, like a server, you get, like, what is called, when you're in training, a lot of things, you make a lot of mistakes, right? And there's going to be people that are going to tell you what you're doing, but, like, straight up. They're not going to tell you nicely at times. They're going to tell you straight up. Sometimes, and those kind of points, like you say, like, your ego gets over, like, yo, why is he talking to me like this? Like, why is he being real? Like, nah, I'm not going to take your shit. Like, no, like, if they're telling you something and you're doing something wrong, you're probably doing something wrong. Just listen to what he's saying, see what he said, and try to, like, apply it to yourself, pretty much.
Yeah, I think it helps in those situations to really, like, try to take yourself out of the situation. Like, just imagine how you would feel if you were just witnessing the situation. Like, if I guess third person, you know, it's like you kind of just watching what happens. Like, if you know that they're right, like if they're even if they're being, like, harsh about it, like if they're telling you, if they're giving you a criticism that you know is right, like, just take it. It's just like, even if they're being a dick about it, they're right though. So if they're right, and you can still improve. So even if they're being an asshole about it, you can still improve. It doesn't, you know.
Don't worry about what they're doing. Just worry more about yourself. Try to see what can you improve day to day, pretty much. Even small little things. It could be for work. It could be for yourself. It could be for, like, your career, anything.
Yeah.
Just little day to days. I mean, especially, like, this is what I started doing. I started, like, so when I wake up, I go to the shower. And then when I'm showering, I'd, like, meditate. Like if we have, like, a bath, I sit down. I sit down, breathe, let the water hit me, fall on top of me. But then just, like, relax, like, just breathe in, like, control my breathing, like, breathe through, like, just focus on my breathing, and just try to not let thoughts go through my head. Just being one, I guess.
Just be in the moment.
Yeah, be in the moment. And then, like, the day to day, I always say I'm grateful for a lot of things. Like, when I wake up, I'm saying I'm grateful for another day on this, like, earth. I'm grateful for being able to wake up. I'm grateful for having a bed. Like, I'm like, when I'm going
gratitude is another good thing.
Going to the bathroom, like, I'm saying I'm grateful for, like, being able to brush my teeth. Like just every little thing I always try to say I'm grateful for. Especially going to work, the car. Like, right now I'm not using my car. I'm using my parents. I even still say I'm grateful for you. I'm having, like, a deal to have something to go to work.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. Gratitude goes a long way, and, like, it'll change your mindset, like, your way of thinking. It's just like you'll have a more positive outlook on life, just appreciating what you already have and just being grateful for the positive shit, because you can always find positive in the negative.
Anything.
Yeah, like a lot of people, they feel like they're in a negative situation, but there's always going to be some positive that you could find.
It takes a lot of work though out here in the Western world, you know, to think like that too, because there's just so much. Like, you go to the gas station, there's somebody tapping their foot, like, come on, this motherfucker, man. Like, you know, other people you go to like this restaurant, some people are like, I didn't like the way you made this cheddar broccoli.
But that's the same thing with
like this.
But like I'm saying, like
ridiculous.
Like I was saying, like when I'm serving, I get that. Like I said, I put my ego to the side. I'm like, all right, because like then again, like they're the ones gonna be the one paying me technically because we're getting tip. Yeah. But like I still try to deal with it and still try to have a conversation with people, especially when I'm serving. Even if they're like dicks, I still try to have a conversation. And then sometimes me doing that cheers them up, and then they end up being in a good mood.
Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. Like that's a good way to think of it. So a lot of people aren't gonna realize that.
Like a lot of people, like I'm not like restaurants, other restaurants. They if there's someone that complains about something, they always go back to the other servers. Oh, this guy's being a bitch. Like he's not ordering anything. He just came here for water, and then whatever. Like yeah, it can be annoying, but then you bringing that negativity is always gonna bring more negativity.
But it's we're talking about the negativity that we have around us, though, that makes us like it could ruin the vibe of whatever we have going on. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is, some people can either stick with that vibe or they can like learn how to start controlling it. You know,
I personally feel like an easy way to like ignore that, because you're right. You can never you can try to avoid it, but I feel like there's always going to be some negative energy around you. You can't escape it. So I feel like a good way for me personally that I've experienced, you can just ignore that type of energy by having like goals for yourself and just staying focused on that. Just
absolutely.
I guess minding your own business and just being focused on your own shit, really, because that's really what I'm thinking about. Like most of the time, even when I'm out, like I have like a really I don't know what the word for it would be, but like. I think too much. Like I think too much about like studio shit, like producing and shit.
Passion.
Yeah, I guess. More like obsession, but because I'll be like sitting like at a party and I'm just thinking about like my track I'm working on, like what I can do to improve and what I can do that. So it's like I'm not even focused on like negative energy around me because I'm so caught up in my own shit. Is that. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing because it's like you don't want to be too caught up in your own world, and low-key that's a problem that I deal with, but it helps not having to deal with the negative energy around you a lot. Just to be focused on your own shit, don't worry about what's going on around you. So you know it really does help a lot. I feel like you just gotta know how to control it. Don't get too caught up in that shit like I do.
It's really easy to not see it. We live right now in a world of just, our feelings, and we got to make sure our feelings are secure and that everybody's feelings are secure, because if their feelings aren't secure, then ours aren't going to be secure.
Like for me is, oh no, go ahead. I forgot. I was going to say like pretty much the same thing was what you were saying, explaining yourself. I was going to explain my situation. Like what I want to do is like just have general like wisdom, wealth, like mentally and like physically, and like another like a big thing of that would be wisdom. So there's a lot of things that I need to work on to do that. I have to keep on having my mind on thinking that, because like what's things that I could do to get more wisdom. Where what's that's my you say passion,
exactly, like your goal.
Your
I feel like especially on a bigger scale, like for life goals, was like. Because I was talking about like projects that I'm working on, where it's like that helps too to have like short term goals that you're working on. That helps you you focus on that. But also like you were saying, like lifetime goals, where it's like goals that you want for your for your life. I think those really help too, because it's like those help you when you're going through tough times. At least for me personally, when I'm going through like a tough time, but like, you know what, 5-10 years from now it'll be worth it. So I'm gonna be looking back at this and I'm gonna be like, damn. Remember those shitty times? I'm glad I'm not dealing with that anymore. Oh. And it's like, you just gotta have that mindset where it's like, it's gonna be worth it. You just gotta think about it like that.
It's gonna be worth it. You just have to have the patience. Just know that it's coming. If you don't believe that it's coming, then you're just gonna keep on putting your same situation that you've been in, because you don't have the confidence into.
It's on acting, on making it come.
You got expectation too. You gotta keep putting the work into it. Obviously. It's not just about believing. You gotta also work for it.
It's the acting.
Yeah, you gotta put the work in too.
But if action.
Yeah. If you're expecting it, like you said, you have to put the action to it, and then you shall receive what you're putting. Because you're putting the action, you're putting the focus into it, so you're gonna receive what you're asking, what you want.
I think part of the action is part of believing, because it's like you can't really say you believe in it, like you believe that you're gonna do it without putting action into it. It's like you're not really believing it then. So a lot of people think they don't want to take action because they think it's like a risk, and it's like that's part of it. Is like if you believe in yourself, you take those risks, and part of believing in yourself is like knowing that even if the risk, if it ends up being bad risk and you lose,
bounce back up.
Exactly. You gotta have that confidence that's like, fuck it, I'm ready for whatever happens. If it doesn't work out, I'm gonna bounce back and I'm gonna try again, or I'm gonna try something else. Just like have that attitude where it's like I'm not gonna let myself be knocked down. So I'm gonna do something to get myself up. So I'm gonna get my ass up, and I'm gonna get myself up there.
The only time you quit on your dream is when you stop doing like you're doing. Like if you fall, a lot of people fall and don't get back up because they're like, oh, I already failed, so what's the point of me doing it? I'm not gonna get to it. I'm not gonna be able to do it. But like you failing, you're still learning. You learn from your failures. The things that you didn't do, or you saw like, oh, I should have done this. Do it next time. Where it like you gotta like everything's more of an experiment. You're gonna keep on trying to repeat and repeat until you get it like better to where you're able to do what you want to do. Like for you, like if it's like producing, there's things that you might be like, oh, I need to work on this. And then you notice it, and then you practice on it, and you repeat it, and see what you could do, and then it gets better and better.
Yeah, I think a big part of it too is like understanding that there's not really such thing as failing at your big goal. It's just a setback. It's just a setback. It's not like you didn't fail your goal. You just got set back. So you just keep working on it, and it's like don't think about it as failing.
Yeah,
it's like
don't think about it at all.
Yeah, because like. How you were saying, like for me, for producing, like if I'm a producer and I wanted to like send a track or a record, like a whole album to a label, and they rejected me. I was like, I could look at that as failing, or I can be like, I could just see that as like, okay, they didn't like my track for whatever reason.
Someone else.
They're probably gonna give you feedback, and if they don't, that's straight. You could just take your own feedback, try to find
what he said. You never know. Someone else could probably like it just because they don't like it.
Send it to other labels. Yeah. So you don't have to send it just to one label. You could send your shit out to everyone.
Even then, it doesn't even have to be a label.
A lot of people passed up on Eminem.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people passed up on Jay-Z.
Nobody wanted to sign them.
Like
I was like, you don't give up on that just because one person doesn't want to sign you. Especially nowadays, there's so many ways to come up. Nowadays, you can start your own label now. It's so easy to start up your own label. So you don't even need to get signed now.
The same thing with like sports. Like I'll say because I'm more into soccer. What is called if you like, let's say you keep on missing, and like you keep on messing up on passes. Like you might get frustrated at that time, but like once you get that frustration, you're gonna keep on messing up more and more. Like this is what I said too. Is like always if you're in a like situation where you're frustrated, where you're messing up or doing things, take a deep breath. Take like 3 deep breaths, and then just like relax, and then so you can have your mind to like reset, and then go back to what you're doing, so you don't repeat the same thing over and over.
It's called meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it comes back to
like an instant meditation. You just like you take like it's like a short meditation that you just do quickly. You just, and you just like you said, reset your mind. It really does reset your mind.
I was at the temple today, and that's exactly what the teacher was talking to me about.
Really?
She's like, whenever you get mad, whenever this and that, they're like, oh, Diego, I don't like you and the things you do. And you go, poo, and then toe, and then you just meditate. Just meditate, you know what I'm saying, for that second, and then you're like, you think, reflect, because every consequence comes from...
I've noticed, like, when I do that personally, and I don't know if you guys could share, I guess, if you experience the same thing, but I noticed, like, it kind of, like, gives you a clean slate, like, on your emotions. Like, if you're mad, you do that, and it's like, you forget you were mad. Like you obviously still remember what happened, but it's just like you're not mad anymore. And you just look at the situation and you're like, damn, that shit sucks, but it's whatever. And you're able to just move on. And it's weird. It's like it almost feels like I guess like you were brainwashed or something. Like your mind just flips. But I've noticed that happens sometimes. Like I'll be in a situation where I'm really frustrated, and sometimes I'll even step outside and like just breathe outside. And then I come back inside. I'm just like, damn, that shit sucked. But that's not a reason to be upset. And I just be like, go on with my day. And it really does make like work wonders.
For me, what it's called, it was like today I was messing up a lot at work. I kept on making small mistakes, and then I put the order wrong. Like, not the order. I put a crab cake sandwich when it was supposed to be crab cake Benedict. So I messed up on that, and I was like, it was frustrating me. So I was like, ugh. And so pretty much like you said, I just stepped aside, and I was like, just breathed out like 3 times, and I was like, all right, just clear my mind. It's okay. Like, it's okay. Yeah. It was like, even because one of the managers too, like he's training, he was getting frustrated too. I was like, so like if I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting other people frustrated. Yeah. So I was like, all right, relax, see what I'm doing, what do I need to do, and then from there just continue again.
Something that really helps me in those situations is just think about like, at this exact time tomorrow, you're not even gonna remember that you were frustrated today. So you forget about it by the next day. Yeah. So it's like there's no reason to get so caught up in this short ass moment. It's like maybe you won't forget about it by the next day, but by the next week you'll forget about it. By the next month, like the point is, it's such a short moment in your life. There's no reason to get so caught up on it.
I'll tell you one thing that happened to me yesterday. And yesterday I just got this idea that I wanted to do something, and I just was so like into that idea, and I was gonna do it because I went like I have like these like random like spurred moments of like impulsion where like I feel like this need to do something, because if not, then like I'll start to like get crazy about it. Yeah. You know, like become like hyper focused and obsessed with that idea until I do it. And, you know, like I was going to act upon that idea, you know. What was the idea? I don't want to talk about it. But the point is, like, I had to like talk to somebody, and then they had to be like, yo, like just chill the fuck out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, go to sleep and then wake up and then see how you feel. Oh, okay. And then, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. You know, and then, like, that same person was like, this other person was actually telling me, like, he's like, look, whatever you want to find somewhere else, you have to find here first before you can go find somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And that shit kind of like really resonated with me, because I was like, fuck. You need to
know where here is first. And
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like here, like focus on here. Yeah. Like what's like, the present. What can you do here? The present. You know, like what
even just the present, just like what's right in front of you physically too.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. The present though too, because sometimes
present.
Yeah, because like you said, sometimes you think of the present, you're in the present, but then you start thinking of other things and you doze off, and then you start like you lose focus on that one.
But I was getting really anxious, and I started to do, and then that's where like that suffering comes from desire thing hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, suffering comes from desire, and then like, you know, you start to like really ponder and on things, and you know, you realize things aren't going the way you want them to go, and la. But then again, like you like forget like the journey at the time.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? You forget the journey. You forget where it is that you are headed to and the things that you need to be doing. Sometimes we want to take the easy way out, you know? Like,
yeah.
And at the end of the day, there's never an easy way out, because at the end of the day, the same problems that I would have in this area, I would definitely have in another area too, because of the fact that I have not been able to focus on what's here.
Yeah.
And what's the now? You know what I'm saying? Like, once I could figure that out, then I could go somewhere and have it, you know, a good situation, a good outcome.
Yeah. I mean, for sure.
Okay.
Because, like, I was like, you know, there was like this moment that, like, you know, like of impulsivity, and then like, like this one person was like, oh, you know, you could do this now, or you could wait and then save your money and then do this and then have a much better outcome. You know, like you can have it planned out, you can have it this and that. And this was just talking about a beach trip. Like all we were talking about here was a beach trip at that point. You know what I'm saying? But like that's where it comes. Like that plays with everything in life. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes something seems good at the moment that you're about to do it, but then you really don't know what the fuck you're about to do. You know what I'm saying? And you could really put yourself in a hole from doing that if you don't, you know, try and plan. You know, I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this. You know what I'm saying?
But no, you're right. Be more for years, like be more organized and all that, or no?
Like, well, it's not about me, you know. I'm not trying to make this about me.
No, but he's just saying, like, think things through, I guess, like, before you do them.
I'm talking about my experience, and then this is for the audience, you know. I don't want to make this about me.
Yeah, and I feel, though, honestly, for me, I feel like the thing that used to make me depressed, like, back then, was the idea of, like, how everything is temporary. Because back then, like, I used to focus so much on the idea of like,
so attachment.
Yeah, I guess attachment. And
attachment problems.
I used to focus so much on the idea that it's like all your achievements are just temporary. Like let's say you play soccer, right, Ivan? So let's say you won a big, like a really big soccer tournament.
Yeah,
it's like that's gonna be exciting for maybe like the first 2-3 hours. And then you're going to get over it, and then it's going to be like it never even happened, and then you're going to move on with your life. Yeah. And low-key, that shit used to make me depressed. Because I'm like, what's the point of like working your ass off to win this tournament if it's not going to matter in a few years?
You know what it is?
But then I started thinking like, that's just one step. It's like, it could matter if you keep, you know, continue going that way. But either way...
That's like saying, why live?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're going to be forgotten.
It affects who you are, too. Like at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter where you end up in life. Like, even if you end up never playing soccer again, it's still part of who you are now. Yeah. And so I feel like I just have to get to that level of understanding. Because that shit used to make me depressed. I was like, it doesn't, like, why do anything? It doesn't matter. It's like... Whatever I do now, 5-10.
What made you see different?
Matter. Well, what I was just saying is like it might not matter short term, but it matters long term. Like,
but what made you see different? Like, what made you, you know, think
like in a special?
This
like
is not the correct way of thinking. This is how it's supposed to be. You know, like to where you are now.
I mean, like kind of what I'm saying though. It's just like. I started seeing it differently, probably because I started smoking like weed. To be honest, weed made me like just see everything differently.
Yeah,
because it just changes it. It just gives you a whole different perspective on life.
So right.
It makes you start to think more.
Yeah, I
mean, but then
because once I started smoking, I got really into philosophy. So I just expanded my way of thinking like entirely. I feel like
for me, I feel like. Smoking did do a little bit, but then once I took psychedelics is where more...
That definitely does a lot too.
That was my thing too.
Yeah. It's more the psychedelics for me. I mean, even though weed technically could be considered a small dose of psychedelics.
It is considered, but it's low-key weaker.
Yeah.
It's not really a psychedelic. It's just classified as one.
I wouldn't really call it that, but it is classified as...
But psychedelics will definitely do it.
Yeah.
They'll have you introspecting on your life and on your parents' lives and on your cousins' lives.
Does that too.
Yeah, but it doesn't do it like it doesn't do it like you know what I'm saying. I had some groundbreaking conversations on shrooms.
Yeah, that really does
and acid.
It makes you question like all of reality. Not even like question it, but just see it for what it really is. I feel like you really start to see like how everything is interconnected, and it's like that's something that to me, like at least as of right now, it's something I've been fascinated recently. Where it's like the idea that everything really is interconnected. Like everything you learn, it's like it's all the same. Like we I feel like we were programmed like in schools. We think about like this is art class, this is science class, this is math class. They're all different subjects. It was like they're not. Like,
they're all interconnected.
Art is science. Art is math. Like math goes into art. You know, it's all one thing. We've been, I feel like, taught to like separate it. Not even like willingly. It's not like they sat us down and it's like these are different things, but just like the way the school system's set up. We've just been set up to like think about everything as separate. And it's like, to me that was baffling when I started thinking about it like that. When I was like, I would look at my dog and I'd be like, damn, like everything I learned in science, like all the biology, like all the bones and shit and their veins, like that's inside of my dog. And I started looking at them. I looked at them weird for like
all
a bit.
All the muscles and everything.
Yeah, it was like all their muscles, all their veins, like all of that's inside of them. And I was like, that's inside of us. So all of that shit. And I was like, something I feel like you just don't think about like on a day-to-day basis.
I was like looking at them and I was thinking these are just little fucking little creatures that fart and shit and piss and eat everything. I mean,
that's true too.
You know what I'm saying? Like that we tolerate and keep around, and you know what I'm saying? Love because we just grew up with that ideology.
Yeah, I mean that's true too. That's part of being.
You know, it's not. I wouldn't eat. I don't. I would probably. I probably would.
Yeah, you're talking about
it. I probably would.
Yeah,
that's from the other episode.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's part of, I guess, like looking at like realizing how interconnected everything is. Like you're realizing like dogs are made out of meat too, and it's like a lot of people don't like to think about it like that because they don't want to think about eating their dog, but like they're made out of meat too. Like you could eat them if you wanted to, you really could, and you'd probably be fine.
We don't eat them because it's just a social stigma.
Yeah.
If we were in China, we'd eat them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Ivan's probably like, no, I wouldn't.
No,
I mean, he doesn't know.
You would have been raised
exactly.
in different culture, so you would have had a whole different way of
eating scorpions and all sorts of crazy
That's what I'm saying.
things.
It's always about the culture, the way you're raised, and the systems. Because that always creates the people, too.
Yeah.
Kids-wise.
Yeah, it's a system. And I feel like, I guess, expanding on like the interconnected thing, that kind of goes to like what some spiritual people like to say, like the spirituality is interconnected with physics. I think that's in like another aspect of like where you really see interconnection, whereas like people talk about like some spirits might just be like different frequencies or like different wavelengths that we don't understand. And honestly, I kind of believe in that. Like that is like spirituality is just physics that we don't understand. I feel like it's just like something that we can't explain, but it's like just because we can't explain and we don't understand it doesn't mean it's not there. And yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard of like what's it called, the Fibonacci scale, or it's like that one swirl. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's basically like they call it the golden ratio.
The golden ratio.
And if I remember correctly, it's like basically every number is the two subsequent numbers added together. So it starts with 1, and then it goes to 1 again, and then it goes to 2, and then 2 plus 1, and then so it's 3, and then 3 plus 2 is 5.
Yeah.
And then so it just keeps going like that. It's called the golden ratio, and people say that you can spot the golden ratio on like basically everything in nature. Whereas like you'll find it, and like some people say you can find it in humans, you can find it in like in frogs and pretty much like all animals. Like,
what do you mean by like the golden?
So you'll see like the shape of their body is like the shape of the swirl. I honestly don't understand that. But that's what I was talking about. Where it's like it's all interconnected because that's math.
So that's at the end of the day, that's why there's so many animals with like what you're trying to say is there's so many animals with 2 arms, 2 legs.
Yeah, where you see like the shape is like the shape.
The eyes are in the same position as everything else. Except maybe octopuses.
So people connect that to the simulation theory, where it's like if you actually study it and you can actually like learn, like our designs are very mathematical. Like there's so much math that goes into like our design. Like a lot of people, that's why a lot of people think that adds credibility to the simulation theory. But that's another topic. We don't have to get too derailed, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah.
Octopuses are weird though. They're definitely not.
Yeah.
A part of that golden rule thing.
I think they are still.
You think so?
Yeah. Because their eyes, I feel like, have the shape too. Because like the way they swirl.
Their eyes are not where eyes are usually.
Position is different, but like.
And then they have more legs, a lot more legs and things, and they're squirmy and.
It's the same thing with spiders though. The spiders have more legs.
But they do got their eyes on the head though.
They have a shitload of eyes.
Yeah, but they're like all on the top. Like where the head area is, the octopuses have like their eyes and like.
So does that mean the same thing with squids?
Their mid body or something like that, like right here.
So like squids and octopus. Because octopus have like the big circle thing. Squids are like this.
Well, yeah,
they're both in the middle, no?
What?
I don't know, man.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Now we're talking about like animals or creatures that have stuff in the middle of their like body. Yeah.
What?
But you know how
that's like every animal. What do you mean? Like they have a core?
No. Like what is called? He was pretty much saying like you know how the octopus have like their heads like they're like down more, and you know how our eyes are up here. So I said, what about a spider about the legs? But he said the spider is still where their eyes are still where their head is at, like up there. Like,
octopus.
Alright, that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
The point that I was trying to make was it helps for self-improvement to try to look at the world like that, seeing like how everything is interconnected and trying to like, I guess, change the way that you behave according to that. How people perceive you is how you react,
Yeah.
I feel like just another thing is just being more positive is just always like more like positive and happy.
Your mindset is gonna affect
your mindset's gonna affect you. You're gonna see a big difference, and like it's just your mood is always gonna be better than usual. Like if you're a person that's always in a bad mood, it's probably because of your attitude, the way you don't like appreciate things, so you're just like bummed out.
Well, what comes from that? Like what comes? You know what I'm saying? Like what makes that happen? Aside from just them having a shitty attitude,
a lot of that can happen from like just them, the way like you said, like traumatized, like things that happen in their life that could cause that. But sometimes, like if you hold either grudges or like you hold things from the past, like you're like it could be like attachment problem or just you having problems of you holding things from the past. You're never gonna improve it's like the better for like the future self if you're gonna keep on holding on to that one thing that caused that business. It could be something bad. Like it could be something like a bad trauma or something, but that's what's gonna be holding you back from improving, honestly. Or you can use that. Sometimes you can use it for your benefit to still help you become a better person or become like what you want to be. But most of the time, like if you keep on holding to that thing, it's always gonna stop you from.
I think that the best way to not, to live your life is by not believing in a future self.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like there was something that I've learned recently that made a lot of sense to me, that I was told when, nothing that we have is ours. Not even our breath, because that can get taken away too.
Yeah.
Like our parents they don't belong to us and we don't belong to them. You know what I'm saying? Our dogs don't belong to us. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just here.
You're just
we're just here.
Life.
We're just really just here. Like at the end of the day, like I think that that's what matters, because, like you could do this and you could do that and this and that. But then like if you were to die in the next hour or so, then what was it all worth if you didn't even pay attention to what you were living in now?
Yeah.
There's another thing that I've heard too.
You gotta love everybody You know, you gotta love at every moment that you can. You know, you got to.
Sure. That's why I say always be great. Like always be grateful when you like.
And show people. You know, like
help people.
Even the undeserving. Yeah. Even the undeserving. You know.
Even if you think they don't deserve it, or if you don't have if you have a problem or whatever it is, always show love and don't expect anything in return. Yeah. Because when if you show love and you expect something in return, then that's not really I feel like showing love. You're just giving and you just want to receive back. Give to give, not to get anything back.
Exactly.
Doing that too will still make you feel better for yourself, and it makes you feel better as a person too.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even do things like that for that. I'm not gonna say it doesn't make you feel better. But I the way I like to think about it is and it sounds corny as fuck, but I try to do good just for the sake of making the world a better place. And as corny
that's
as
great.
Sounds,
no, that's not fucking corny at all. You're tripping. That's not corny at all.
The way I like to think about that is the world's a shitty place. The world's already a shitty place. It's you don't want to be another reason that it's shitty, you know?
Yeah.
It's you don't want to be a part of the reason that it's shitty, you know? Because I've noticed a lot of people, that's the reason they give in to all the, people join gangs because they say, oh, the world's
Be a main character in this world of NPCs.
Yeah, exactly. It's the world, it's oh, the world's shitty, so it's it doesn't matter. I can be a shitty person too. It's no, you don't want to be adding to that. You don't want to be the one adding to that. At least personally, I don't, because I feel I would be I would feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
I'm wow, now I'm just a piece of shit that's adding to the shittiness of the world. It's I don't want to be part of the people adding to it. So that's what motivates me, to be honest.
I love that.
To be good. It's help.
Agree.
I might not be able to change the world by myself to make it good, but I might be able to influence someone else. Be okay, well now they're in a good mood because I did something positive to them, so now they're in a good mood. Maybe they're not even thinking spiritually or whatever, but they're in a good mood now, so maybe they're feeling generous, so they give to a homeless guy or whatever. Everything has there's a butterfly effect, yeah. So everything has consequences.
Well, I work at Starbucks, and you see that shit. Believe it or not, you see people that so much in the drive-through that people pay for one drink, and then the next person will be oh well. How much is other person's? And then it'll cause a whole chain of people buying each other's drinks.
You really can't influence people.
You know what I'm saying?
By being positive.
And then there's sometimes where I get these really rude customers, but then again I'm just those are the ones that I try to treat the best.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not because the nicer ones don't deserve it, but because I don't know their life.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck they're going through. I don't know what who they are or where they've been or why they are the way they are, and I don't know if that they perceive their way of being to be a nice one.
I mean, yeah, no,
that was also in the beginning where I was saying when I have rude customers where people say, "Oh, they're rude." I always go up there and try to talk to them and actually have conversation with them, get to know them. That right there.
I don't even do that, bro. I just try to be you know what? You have yourself a great, wonderful day. I really hope
it's the same idea though. It's giving them that positive energy.
Exactly.
Being positive around other people. Because you being positive gives that aura to other people. Oh, he's in a positive mood.
Exactly.
I'm in a good mood.
I really like that too, because also you don't know what they're going through in that day. You don't know what their day's been like. Because I try to put myself in their position. Because sometimes you're frustrated as fuck for some completely other reason. Let's say you were trying to do something on your computer, and for whatever reason your computer is glitching out. It's just not letting you do whatever. So oh fuck, you're pissed off. You're driving. You're gonna go get your lunch. You're oh, I'm hungry as shit. You're driving pissed off, and you're yelling at the worker. You don't even realize it sometimes. You're yelling. You're just so pissed off, and you're just so blinded in your rage that you're just I want this, and you're just blowing off your steam. You're just so you really don't know what they've been going through. They might not even be yelling at you because they're mad at you. Obviously, they're just going through their own shit, but they're just mad. And if you give them that positive attitude, then they might even feel bad. They're oh shit, I'm sorry for yelling at you, as I'm just blowing off steam. I'm just really frustrated right now. So I've been in that experience. Obviously, I try to not yell at people, But I've been in that experience where I'm just like so mad, and it's like any little thing will tick you off, and it's like you're already upset. And then they get your order.
You want to know the worst part about it? Yeah, that's always what happens. You get mad, and then worse shit just starts happening.
That's what you're already upset, and they get your order wrong, and then you just explode.
And then your gaslight turns on, and then
that's what I'm saying. You're already in a bad mood, so what are you gonna bring? You're gonna bring more negativity towards you because you're already frustrated. So one thing leads to more frustration. Like you said, you're frustrated. You go to it, and then because you're still frustrated, and one little thing,
it's just one little thing is just going to set you off. So it's like you don't know you don't know if that's what's happening to them. Like one little thing could have set them off. So it's like try to be patient. You don't know, they might already be driving to you. They might be like on the edge, right? Like when they're interacting with you, like ready to blow up because they've already had such a stressful day before you even see you.
Especially fast food people, like they go through a lot.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah. Just for a fucking 4-piece nugget.
That's why I always people were like, "Oh, sorry for wait, whatever." I'm always like, "Don't worry, like it's okay." You're fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And I just get.
I had this instance in Taco Bell, and this Taco Bell actually, the one here.
Yeah.
Gainesville.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Florida.
The guy was like, they were just taking an incredibly long time. You know what I'm saying? And like, a part of me wanted to really say something, but at the end of the day, like, I know why. I know most likely the reason why it's taking forever. You know, they're backed up. The guy, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to do what he can to, but then at the end of the day,
sometimes the line's long as fuck.
Sometimes they don't have shit cooked, and I don't know, I just ended up leaving, I did make the order and shit like that, but I just ended up leaving because I just, he still kept us waiting for, a long-ass fucking time, so I was like, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be here oh, well.
Where's my fucking
you
order?
fuckers, always, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, so that doesn't change anything. I've experienced, customers like that when I was doing DoorDash, where it's they'll be calling me and texting me, yo, where's my food? I'm like, they're fucking making it. I can't do shit. I'm just a delivery guy.
Go in there with a pistol. Get me his food.
Right? Yeah.
Put it in the bag right now.
Now. Can't you see he's rushing me?
When I'm in those experiences, I try to just rage to myself. Obviously, I can't expect the customer to just if you're upset, you're upset. But when I'm in those situations, I try to be upset to myself at least. And I'm not trying to take it out on the employees. Even if they for the example we just said, they fuck on my order entirely. I'll get home and I'll be like, fuck. I'll be pissed when I get home. I'll be like, fuck it. I guess I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna try something new. So I'm not gonna go yell at the fucking employee who's already struggling. Obviously, if he's fucking on my order, so he's probably already stressed out, fucking up some of my orders. Probably not the only ones whose order he got fucked up.
I think it's just fuck DoorDash. I'm just kidding. No.
Yes, that too.
The reason why is because I be getting my sometimes they be forgetting my I can be just the actual place, but they be forgetting my shit too. And I'm like, damn, now I don't have this. I was excited for this, but at least I still got this, right? But sometimes it depends if it's a little bit pricier, and you have to probably call and be like, "Yo, I didn't get
you
this."
can at least get a refund.
Yeah, but if it's something small, be like, "Fuck, I wanted this," but now, whatever. And you're not gonna be like, "Hey, where the fuck is my sauce?" or whatever this and that.
I don't know. I do get triggered when McDonald's doesn't give me the picante sauce that I asked for.
I feel that.
The picante sauce, man.
The picante.
I feel like that.
The hot sauce.
Huh.
The hot picante.
I haven't tried it.
It comes with the burritos, I think.
It comes with the breakfast.
Yeah, the breakfast burritos.
I think I know what you're talking about. Where the fuck is my picante sauce?
Yeah, bro, that shit be having me triggered because that sauce is so good.
No, but that just ruins the rest of your day. I've noticed. When you let it get to you, that just ruins the whole day for you.
I know.
So you just move on and you're able to just go move on with your day. Whereas if you let that shit get to you, then you just be thinking about it throughout the whole day. And even at the end of the day.
And fuck, if you have to feel mad, you know what I'm saying?
Feel mad,
just
but just let it out. Don't escalate it. And where you start yelling at. I feel like as soon as you get someone else involved, that's when it becomes a bigger problem.
Yeah.
It escalates and it just becomes a whole thing. and you start thinking about it.
It's okay to feel mad.
Yeah, it's okay to feel mad, but I feel like, because personally, I feel like when I've been in those situations, because I'm not perfect, I've been in those situations where I've gotten it to where it escalates, and you just feel shitty about it the whole day. Like, even towards the end of the day, you're just thinking about, like, you're still mad at the person. You're just like, this motherfucker is like, I don't know. Like, it's just
that can happen in relationships. It happens a lot in relationships too.
Yeah,
where like the one person's mad at the other one, and sometimes it can be for something small, and just because they're frustrated already about that, they don't want to be like. It's easier for them to be frustrated than to them be like, okay, then yeah, my fault. I was wrong. I was in the wrong place.
Usually in relationships, it's battles of egos that make the whole thing. Yeah, like that.
Nobody wants to admit they're wrong.
Exactly.
And they just stay frustrated. Even if sometimes they don't even want to be frustrated. It's just that they just.
But that's the problem with nowadays, though. Nowadays, people just break up because of that shit.
You gotta de-escalate too, like, because I was saying, like, you don't want to escalate, but you don't want to just leave it either. You want to de-escalate. Take care of the problem. Don't just leave it open either.
People don't know how to solve issues anymore.
Because, like you said, that just makes it a bigger problem, too. If you just ignore it, and then it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then eventually, y'all hate each other because of some shit that you just let, get under your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of communication more than anything. It's just being able to talk to each other and just, like, really tell each other how you feel and what's on your mind.
But the thing is, sometimes it's hard for other people to tell them how they feel if they get offended.
Oh, yeah. You gotta be able to be on the same page.
Yeah. Like, if you, like, just listen.
And that's on their self-improvement. You can't really do shit on them. You can't force them to not get offended when you're trying to tell them something. It's like,
but the thing
that's
is,
who they are. That's who they are. They just gotta take some time to self-improve themselves.
But I feel like people gotta, like, at least listen to what people say, and then
no, they don't.
You don't think so?
They don't have to.
They don't have to. Yeah, of course. But, like,
should they? Maybe
you gotta be willing at least.
Yeah.
I feel like
you don't have to, but at least, like, if you willingly try to listen to them, see what they say, but from there, if you don't fuck what they saying, whatever, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Don't, like, be like, okay, I heard what you say. Just because I heard what you say, I'm gonna stay. No, if you still don't feel right, then go. Yeah. Like, you go for any situation, but, like, that's the
at least listen.
Some people won't always have, like, the advice that you need to hear.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes you'll believe in that advice, and you know what I'm saying? It doesn't turn out how. But that's the learning. That's the learning part.
That goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. Like, we're all human. Like, this is just advice. It's like we're trying to help each other. We don't know, for certain. This isn't like
everybody's different,
right? Like, this isn't a guide. Like, this is gonna work for a fact. Like, this is just suggestions at the end of the day. Like, I suggest you try this, and hopefully it helps. It works out for you, hopefully. But if it doesn't, it was just a suggestion at the end of the day.
It's like this video, this old man that I seen on this bench. Well, it's like, this guy who had, like, this idea that he's like, okay, well, I could either move to Australia with my best friend and start a business venture, or I could stay here, live with my girlfriend, start a family, and then, go with whatever I have going on here. And then he was pondering and thinking and pondering and then thinking some more and wondering what the hell he was going to do. Took walks everywhere, trying to just clear his mind and get an answer, until one day, like, he saw this old man on the bench, and then he sat next to him. And then he was like, oh, well, man, I'm having this issue. And the old man's like, well, why don't you let me give you the answer, and then you go along with it? Considering I'm just an old man that you don't even know. Like, I'll give you... It's like flipping a coin. And then the guy's like, okay. And then he told him, go to Australia. And then next thing you know, the man goes, he breaks up with his girlfriend, goes to Australia, starts a business with his best friend, and this and that. And then, you know what I'm saying? Years later, the business collapses. He wants to come back and And the next thing you know, he goes and he finds himself on a bench again next to an old man. And the old man tells him, he's like, well, what if I give you the answer, and you follow it? It's like flipping a coin. And then the guy's like, yeah, okay. Well, he's like, okay, well, go and stay here with your girlfriend. And then he goes, he stays with his girlfriend, starts a family, lives a life and doing business, all still completely unsatisfied because the woman ends up leaving him. He's there stuck in debt and la la la. And the next thing you know, he goes and then he asks, so he finds a bench, sits an old man sitting on it, and then he's like, I'm having this dilemma. And then the old man's like, why don't you let me give you the answer? It's like flipping a coin. And then the guy's like, nah, you know what? I think I got it. You know, but at the end of the day, like, you know how that, like, y'all understand what I'm trying to say with that story, though, right?
Yeah, I kind of.
Like, the guy goes, does one thing, he's unsatisfied there, you know, from listening to this person, and then goes completely unsatisfied again in the whole other scenario because he pretty much goes back in time again after, you know what I'm saying? Like, asks the old man again. The old man gives him a different answer that time, you know, and it's like the same situation almost. Dude's unhappy, this and that, you know what I'm saying? And it's weird because he kind of just realized, you know, the only way I could find the answer is through myself, you know, not what this old man says, not what this, you know what I'm saying?
He doesn't really know how you're feeling and what.
I mean, the old man doesn't know anything about him. That's true. So he's just literally just giving him a random answer. But I think that goes to, like, speak about, like, FOMO, too. Just, like, because naturally, humans are, like, designed, like, programmed, I guess. We just naturally think, like, whatever option we chose, like, we're missing out on whatever option we didn't choose. So then that happens a lot, like, especially, I'm sure you guys can relate with, like, video games. There's, like, some video games where, like, they give you options sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, let's say they let you choose between two different weapons. And you choose a weapon, and you low-key don't like that weapon. And now you're thinking, like, damn, I should have chose the other weapon. And then, like in this situation, like, you find out the other weapon's not even that good. But this whole time you've been wanting that weapon just because you don't like the weapon that you have.
So you could have been improving, doing other things.
You're so focused on wanting something that you don't have just because you don't like what you have right now, that you don't realize that the thing that you don't have is not that much better.
Regardless, once you get the desire, it doesn't always mean you'll be satisfied from that desire because there's more. It has more to do with yourself than with that desire.
Yeah,
you know. Well, you could be rich, right? Like, you could get, like, you say, okay, I want money, I want this, and you get all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you turn out to be completely unhappy, having all the things that you just said, you know, you wanted for your life. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know where to go from here with what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really fucking weird because that happens to people.
It does.
No,
it happens to people, and it's a very common thing. You know, like, people work hard for what they get, bro, and then they finally get it, and then they're like, now what? Now where do I go from here?
Well, I think that goes to, like, what a lot of people say is, whereas, like, they say you got to find happiness from within. Like, you can't find it from you know, external sources. Like, you got to find it from within. You can't find it from, like you said, from money or from relationships, from anything outside. So you said, fuck you guys.
Yeah. No, bless you.
Thank you.
Man, fuck you too. So, but yeah, I think you got to find the happiness from within. And I feel like the happiness from within comes from, like, what Yvonne was saying earlier is that gratitude, really. Just learning to appreciate what you have. And just, I think, personally, shrooms helped me in this aspect a lot. It's just appreciating how beautiful the world is. Like, as corny as that sounds, like,
nature, animals,
it's crazy how intricate this world is. Like, how everything just works together. Like, the plants and the animals, like, everything just works.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Do you think if you didn't get what you want, would you still be happy? If you didn't get these things that you said that you would want for your life in the future? Like, if you didn't get that, would you still be satisfied 100% with yourself and with the way life is?
Yeah. I think so.
By the gratitude, right?
Because whatever I still have, I'm still grateful for having what I need to have. Especially if I'm like not even like living the top life of I'm living, but I'm still living like a modern life. Even if it's not like, even if I go broke or whatever, I'm still always gonna be grateful for what I do have, and then for what I don't have. Because why am I gonna bother of what I don't have?
And it's fucked up because through that, a lot of people lose kids. Yeah. You know, through that journey, you know, they get in freak accidents and lose their eye. They lose, you know, motor function of some sort, you know, like, but then, like, you know, just life goes on. And at the end of the day, like, it's about how you can really get that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that gratitude, I think. Yeah, that gratitude of, like, you know what, I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? I'm still making it work.
The appreciation and, like, gratitude of...
I think, I think a lot about, like, different animals, too. It's just, like, being grateful that we're able to, I guess...
grateful and thankful.
What's the word? We're able to... Fuck, what's the word I'm looking for?
Knowledge
to grasp, I guess, like, to understand really, like, the world. Like, we're able to really take in, like, how intricate the world. Because, like, if you watch, like, documentaries, like, for, like, animals and shit, you watch, like, how we're talking about, like, how there's the butterfly effect, where it's like certain animals do this, and then the other animals will come and, like, based off of their actions, like, they evolve from their actions, and they learn off of each other. Because I think, I don't remember which ones it was, but there was these two animals that kept evolving together, and you can, like, if you, like, look at their evolution, like, you can see how they were evolving against each other. It was like one was evolving to, like, be able to escape from it, and the other one was evolving to be able to catch it. Okay. So every time they would, like, evolve, like find a different way out. Yeah. Like, every time they would evolve to, like, have a different method of escaping, like, this one would evolve to, like, have a way of catching them, like, and it's like everything just, like, it just all works together like clockwork. It's just like it's just all synchronized.
You know, I realized too is that same thing with that, because, like, it's just like you're evolving. Same thing for me is, like, competition. Yeah. For anything, like, it could be for sports, it could be for us, like, just anything. Being competitive, at least for me, makes me figure out things quicker than it should be. Because, like, let's say if we're playing sports. Yeah. I mean, seeing someone doing it constantly, like, being able to shoot hoops. Let's say basketball, they're able to make it, always trying to make it. It makes me be able to, like, want to be able to, like, do the same thing, be able to, like, be on his level where, like, all right, but just because you can do it, I can do the same thing too. Like, I mean,
if one person can do it, anyone can do it. It's just about doing the same movements.
Same movements, any little thing. Like you said, the predator was evolving on how the prey was, like, learning to shoot. They were learning new ways to, like, escape, but then they're probably figuring out new methods to be able to catch it. Yeah. Like, that's how they were evolving.
I'm pretty grateful that I get to see all this stuff happening in the universe still. Right. Yeah. While there's still, like, you know, we still get to see nature. Yeah. We don't get to see it like our grandparents got to see it. Yeah, you know, or their grandparents. Yeah, you're right. Like, they got to see, like, animals, like, at their full extent. Yeah, you know, we're only seeing a little bit of it now because, you know, they're all. I feel like we're going through habitat loss and all sorts of shit.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Like, the fact that we can see all this now, like the fact that the oceans are blue still, the fact that, you know, we still got sea turtles, that you know, tigers, that all these things, bro, that are gonna be extinct at some point, like.
And the fact that we have the intelligence,
we get to see
to appreciate it. Like, we're able to appreciate it. Exactly. Like, that how advanced it is. Like, this is such, like, the design of the universe is, it's so. I like to think of it as, like, synchronized chaos, where it's like it's chaotic, but it's all synchronized at the same time. Where it's like, if you look at, like, how the planets, they're all spinning around, and it seems kind of chaotic, but at the same time, it's, like, synchronized. They're going around in circles, and it's like people were able to tell times using the planet. It's like, I don't know. I think we're we're lucky as humans to be able to appreciate everything that the universe has to offer. We have 30 seconds, so we have to either wrap up or take a break. I'm good on wrapping up. I don't know about you guys.
I don't care.
So we can wrap up. That's a good episode. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.